Lionel Dempsey.
Did you just take my list with you?
I have.
Thank you. So, that's Lionel Dempsey. Now, should we have some music? Should we go to more poetry? I think we have poetry. Poetry? Everybody on for poetry? Oh, yeah. Poetry. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Anthony Fairweather.
Thank you. My first poem here is dedicated to anyone who has to do an incredibly dull job for someone they hate. I don't have to do that at the moment, but at one stage I did have to, because I have worked in agony through weeks and months and years. I have known the good times and I've also known the tears. And I once worked in an office where my friends and I were blue because of managers who'd asked us, "What do you lot actually do?" I said, "Well, I open files, close files, make files, take files, bring files, sling files, split files and copy files. I scan files, plan files, merge files, purge files, date files, rate files, style files and file files. I store files, core files and many, many more files, load files, code files, give out all the owed files, lend files, send files, mend, tend and end files, trail files, mail files, email, electronic files, create and update and redate and conflate files, employ files, deploy files, and finally destroy files." Is that all he said? I said, "No. I do this for your files, my files, their files, spare files, old files, new files, borrowed and the blue files, red files, green files, blue files, black files, grey files, white files, heavy and the light files, box files, card files, all the battle-scarred files, hard files, starred files, measured by the yard files, small files, tall files, halfway up the wall files, official files, office files, and all your other Scottish files. For when I wake up, well, I know I'm going to be the man who's making files for you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm going to dream about the files I've left on view. For I would make 500 files, and I would make 500 more to be the man who's made 1,000 files. You've just knocked on the bloody floor. So now, I'll lift files, zip files, reshell and shift files, rack files, stack files, move them by the sack files, tidy, untidy files, all the bona fide files, local files, token files, throw out all the broken files, unmix and mix files, like all your dirty tricks files, and for all your other files, because that is what I do with files." Thank you. We all hate all the kind of sort of call waiting systems we all have to use now, in order to to try and phone any company anywhere, press 4, press 5, press 7, all that kind of thing. But you may or may not know that these call waiting systems are charging you an absolute fortune, and I shall explain why, and also how you can combat it. So, you bought your new TV last week. Already it has gone wrong. Time to call the service line and wait for 2 hours long, quietly going right out of your mind as you sit on the end of the phone, listening to Satan or some Sataness in between the monotonous music tone. Thank you for calling the service line. Your call is important to us. We will be with you as soon as we can, and we'll try not to make too much fuss. Now we've all heard those terrible tones in voices both sweet and uncouth. But the voices are lying, your time they are buying, for here's what they'd say if they told you the truth. Thank you for calling the service line. Your call is important to us. So important is it in fact you'll be waiting for 2 hours plus. And the reason that we keep you waiting's our number's 0870. And if you're calling from a mobile phone, it's 20p a minute, And from all that money you're paying, this company is on a cut. Which is why it should be no surprise we all take so long to pick up. For this is the corporate cash generator that's taking this country by storm. All over this nation by automation in a manner so uniform. For you call the number, it calls an exchange, which by automation right there does arrange to call the call centre there at its abode by means of a standard area code. And a normal phone number, just like yours or mine, would save you much money if you called it each time. But they won't give these numbers and keep them protected, but there's a website where they can be inspected. For sometimes these numbers, sometimes they leak, and then you can combat the con. It don't take much time, just log on online to saynoto0870.com. Take the nasty number, type it right in, conduct a search. Results it'll bring of normal phone numbers that you can then enter to get through the Satan down at the call centre. Of course you'll still be waiting for more than a bit, but at least now you will not be paying for it. And for 0800 and 0845, the story is the same for them. But with Say No to 0870, you most likely will find a gem. So when you leave here, please tell all your friends about this great website by name. Because with Say No to 0870, we can beat them all at their own game. Thank you.
Absolutely fair weather, ladies and gentlemen. You ready for a middle-sized poet?